not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Blackwatch with Commanding General YAHANNA, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he make man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
You don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Blackwatch. Let the show begin.
ISUPK.com. That's the website, man. Don't never forget it. Get online, pay your tithes, support this truth. Get ready to join us down April 14th at the Passover. It's insane. I want to, if I could, y'all, I want to apologize to all the brothers and sisters who could not get into the hotels. I got, some of you, some honorable brothers and sisters, and somehow your so many brothers and sisters signed up that your when you went and signed up, it somehow got blocked and it came back later. It was like a computer problem, like too many people hit the site, and so it went back. So you didn't get a room, and for that I want to just apologize, because we done sold out 4 hotels, and still brothers and sisters trying to get, and now we can't even book no more. Everybody else got to find another hotel. Yeah. So, Salaki.
And if I could, sir, and of course, it's so they can go find somewhere to get down to that pass.
Yeah, that's no excuse.
Yeah, damn right.
You gotta still make it down there. Like, we can't break the brotherhood because you couldn't get a reservation in the main hotel. Like, we're not going there with it. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, sis. Okay.
25 minutes away.
Come 25. What's the name of it?
It's the same name as the same hotel.
It's another Hyatt Inn. Holiday Inn. Holiday Inn Suites, 25 minutes away. Y'all check it out. Captain Ty Ward will be working transportation out. You don't have to worry about that. He's trying to work that out already, in the vans and everything he needs. They moving and shaking on everything that's going on. Big shout out to Captain Khan. Big shout out to General Hazayan.
Yeah, right.
They're doing an amazing job. So again, I just want to apologize to everybody. But at the same time, if you couldn't get in, then you should also be thankful to the Most High that so many brothers and sisters are responding to this truth now. Like ISUPK, I'm saying to y'all, man, you put it down at the absolute right time. Like, people are rejecting the churches out of hand. I just got a call from Mashak. Another quick story, if I could tell you real quick. Mashak Young called me and said, in Trinidad, brother, the preachers are furious with the ISUPK. The brother Galawan went on the they got the brothers is on a big radio show out there, radio station. So he went on there, man, and started breaking down how the preachers is just after the money. And he broke down their whole program according to the scriptures, according to the ISUPK protocol. And while they were on the air, the preachers called the owner of the station. And the owner of the station called the host while she was on the air. Her phone started, She in the middle of on the air. Hold on one second. I got this is my boss. Boop, boop, boop. She answered the phone. The boss like, please tell them brothers to stop. Please tell them, chill out. You know what I mean? They going too hard. They going too hard. Because he was breaking the thing down and just crushing them. And they came together in a coalition of preachers, because now they in the outs with the government. It's a whole big mess. And once again, it's a mess because the Lord is in it now. Like, these churches, tons of these churches turn around and said, don't take the vaccine. Don't take the vaccine. And people listened to them. And people's loved ones died who did not take that vaccine. And they went back to them preachers like, You said don't take the vaccine. You know, grandma so-and-so been in the church 50 years. She dead. What's going on? And they hiding and scurrying in a closet somewhere, not being able to answer scripturally why they, why they would reject it. And so they turned around and so the people are pulling away from them. Now is like the old saying goes, copper diem, man. Right. Seize the day. Mm-hmm. Now's the time. This is the time to really wake our brothers and sisters up. And the Lord's done that many times, right? Moses, but other prophets, he always did it. Elijah, Ezekiel always did amazing things that opened up the door for us to wake up out of the fog. And this is one right here, right now, and it is beautiful, man. It is a great time to be in. So I want to just tell everybody out there again, that ain't no excuse. Everybody get down to the Passover, recognize and thank the Most High, because he didn't have to send all these brothers and sisters up in here to do what he did. Also, big shout out to the generals, because I went and visited the council. Usually I just catch it, but I went up there and visited the council. And I was shocked at how many camps, damn near every camp was like, I like to bring in these 2 new brothers into the council. Mm-hmm. I like to bring 2 troopers or 3 troopers over here. I like to bring these new sisters in. I mean, almost every camp had new brothers and sisters coming into their camps and was now passing their tests and being entered into the council, man. It was beautiful to see. So big shout out to all y'all generals, man. Captains, officers. You captains, you officers, man. You 5,000s out there who've been holding down camps. Muhammad's been beating me with a bat over the damn head to get, let y'all get all up in the zone. I locked the thing off. I said, you giving too many rights out. He beating me up. We in there like 2 niggas fighting in the back room. He said, let's get through the Passover, man. We can come back and get y'all right, your right seat. We can't just open it up and let everybody go. But the work y'all doing is so absolutely amazing, and it's getting on. So that's it. Let's get on into it, y'all. All right, Passover coming up. Get your garments in. All the garment hitters is in here. Marah comes in here flavorful every week. He comes laced every week up in here. Big shout out. I got the heavy hitters in the building with me. General Muhammad, give it up. General Mayat Gala, give it up. Officer Marah Yediah and Ibad holding it down. We got Officer Taziawan up from Delaware with his posse in the building, man. And some various other brothers and sisters is with us tonight. Let's talk about some good stuff tonight. Let's go. Where we going, Yediah?
Big disappointment. Big disappointment. Tamir Rice's mother, Samaria, vents frustration with Assistant Attorney General Christine Clark and DOJ's decision to keep slain son's case closed.
If I could, sir, Tamir Rice, there was so many murders committed by police recently. Which one was the Tamir? Was that the young brother?
That was boy? The one where the cop stepped out the car and he was in the park with the toy gun.
Okay, I remember.
Cop stepped out the car, right? Blasted him like within seconds.
I remember.
And that's what they were, and then they bringing it up now because they just brought up that case with that brother that was on the highway. Remember the brother that was on the highway? Yeah.
In Chicago? Laquan McDonald.
Laquan McDonald. He was walking on. Remember, he was on the highway. He was bugging out with the knife, and the cop blasted the hell out of him, and then turned around and said he came at him. But then that dash cam video showed he was going away from the cop, and the cop still blasted him. So now they're talking about charging the cop. Like they trying to appease to a small degree black people, but that appeasement is only temporary. You see what they doing in New York? They done unleashed the beast in New York. Them old jump out cops, them old TNTs and them, brother. They is I know that firsthand. They are a pain in the neck, man. Them cops up there that jump out on you, them plainclothes cops, they feel totally free to abuse the people. And once again, if I could, the whole point of policing has never been to be police. It's been military terrorism on black people, Latino people, and Native Indian people. Like all the time, they'll back off you when we get so frustrated and we go off. Like we did after Freddie Gray and after George Floyd. then they'll back all the way up off. They'll fire a couple people back all the way off, say they're going to change laws, fix this and all that. But what they really do is back all the way up and then let all the real crime statistics come out. Because they lying about the crime statistics. But then when they back up, they let the crime statistics come out on what's really going on and how they ain't stopping no crime. And then they say, well, we got to do something about it. This crime is so bad. And then what is the go-to? The go-to is always just terrorize everybody. They don't really actually go find criminals. Don't actually put in programs that stop Black men and women from becoming criminals, Latinos and Native Indians. The real go-to is to terrorize us. So, Salaki, let me get back to the story. I just wanted to add that, General, if I could.
Wakan, sir. Samaria Rice, mother of Tamir Rice, is angry with the Department of Justice, more specifically Assistant Attorney General Christine Clark, who denied a request to reopen Tamir Rice's case.
You see what I'm saying? Like if it was all about justice, like that cop most definitely is supposed to get locked up for that. I mean, it had to be what, 2 seconds? I mean, he pulled up with the car, stepped out the car, and didn't even blink. He just fired. Anybody, if we got that footage, it's Shalom says, y'all.
I think you're not exaggerating with the 2 seconds. I think that's
right?
literally the time.
I mean, he didn't even get the car door closed when he shot that young kid in the head. When meanwhile, like we always bring out on this show, the tolerance they have for, when it comes to one of theirs. We in two different places, man. And the more we've tried to unify with these people, the more we became divided. That's why when we're going to talk about Whoopi Goldberg tonight. And I'm going to say something about Whoopi Goldberg because Whoopi Goldberg had ill intentions. I know Black people supporting her, and you don't want to let them beasts get the better hand. Yeah. But Whoopi Goldberg did not have good intentions when she made that statement, man. And that Christian spirit. And once again, if I could, the ISUPK, man, y'all sold a bomb. Because the ISUPK, we label people that's technically not even Christians. Because we know that there's a spirit of Christianity out here. That you don't even have, you could be a Muslim and still be a Christian. You could be an agnostic or whatever the hell you dealing with and still be a Christian because you got that spirit of a Christian. You got that same, let's all come together in a rainbow, which is killing us in this place. Which is what them churches been pushing, and which is why they've been financed so well. And that's why it's so, once again, it's so glorious that the Most High, the beast didn't want to stop their finance, so the Most High stopped it with the coronavirus. Like the coronavirus fired you pastors and preachers. And now, if I could, last point, they coming together, a lot of them, because now they hurting so bad. So they got to come together and work together. And while they coming together, they fighting over what they're going to teach and not teach. They fighting over what position each one going to have and all of that. And it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful. So, Salakia, that's it.
You there? Yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Let's do it. Yeah, look at this footage, man. She begging them to open this case. Look at it. Let's time this thing, man, for the time that car stops. Now, here he is. That's the kid under the gazebo playing. See him playing with the toy gun. Which, listen, he shouldn't have been out there playing. You know what I mean? Not like that. There's nothing wrong with him being a kid and playing, but pointing it at people and people not knowing, for the thrill of scaring them, not the best way.
He had a mental disorder.
Okay. That's
he was autistic.
Okay. So he didn't even know better.
No.
Wait, go back just a little bit to the time he pulls up that car. There you go. Look how he raced in, all up on the sidewalk. Pulls up, opens the door, steps out. Boom! Look, from the time he stepped out, look at it. The kid is on the ground. His partner didn't even get out the car yet.
Someone Google how much time it took for him to kill him. I believe that was released in the story.
Like the time to kill him was near nothing. And why did he race all up on the side? He was going to kill him. Like if you're a police officer and you're going to you get a call about somebody with a gun, you don't race right up on them and put yourself in harm's way. You're supposed to pull up and be back, and you know what I'm saying? Use the car as a defense, find out what's going on. Go ahead, General, if you could. Y'all jump in.
That was it, sir.
Salakia. Like, that's ridiculous, man. The timing on that mess.
And usually, John, like you said, they'll pull up some distance,
right,
maybe with the car facing them, so they can open both doors and stand behind the door.
Yeah,
but they rode
and
right
say,
up on them,
like and call out to him, "Hey, put the gun down." But he, rolled them. They rolled right on him. Go ahead, Doc.
It said that it doesn't have an exact time, but it said that the cops shot him almost immediately after arriving on the scene.
Yeah, it was. I remember the time where they watched the video and
they timed it, right?
They timed it. It's like 2 seconds.
It's like, you know what I mean? And we're watching this in slow motion. This video that's on right now, this is in slow motion. And look how fast he shot him. In slow motion. Go ahead, Doc.
Meanwhile, sir, you had them two that 13 and 11-year-old Edomite children in Florida with automatic assault rifles, and Esau showed up and said, "Let's not kill these kids," while they were being fired upon.
Damn.
Oh, that was a big story. Like, put your hands up. Put your gun down. Put the gun down. Put it down. Put it down. Put it down. Let me give you another story if I could, sir. This came out this week. Do we have the story, Marah, about the no-knock warrant, the brother that was killed yesterday or today? The video was excellent. It reminds you of this video. There's a story. I don't remember where it was, but there was a no-knock warrant issued for some person.
Oh, right.
The cops had a key, unlocked the door with the key, and then boom, boom, jumped in. There was somebody sleeping on the couch. When they bust in, he picked up his gun and they killed him. He had a permit for the gun, and he was not the person they were looking for.
And had no criminal record.
Had no criminal record. It was a cousin of the person they were looking for, and his gun was registered, and he had a permit to carry that gun. And they killed him in seconds.
I saw the footage.
Yeah,
it was horrific.
Please.
It's just like the Breonna Taylor.
You're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just saying it was just like the Breonna Taylor case where they just ran in on a no-knock warrant, and then the brother who had a licensed gun went to protect himself, but Breonna Taylor ended up getting killed in the process.
A little different. In this case, he never fired it.
No,
because they were standing right next to him. He was knocked out sleep. The noise made him pick up the gun. They killed him. The video is right here. Here's the video right here.
And it's so ridiculous in that no-knock warrant. Like, what fugitive escapes the police in this day and age? Like, when they come to arrest you, they all sides of the goddamn house or apartment. Where are you going? You ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, and this no-knock warrant has been killing black people since the 60s when Gil Scott-Heron made a song about it.
Yeah, because
they were killing everyone in the Bronx with these no-knock warrants that were invented to fight drugs. The whole law was invented to stop drug dealers from flushing the drugs down the toilet.
Yeah.
So they don't knock, so you don't get a chance to flush the drugs down the toilet. And of course, when they come into your house, they kill your son, kill your daughter, and kill everybody in the house, which is what is still happening. And Gil Scott-Heron made a song about it, I think in '69.
Yeah, because they were using it to kill Black Panthers.
Yeah, you go.
They were using it as a no-knock warrant to go in there and kill all the Black Panthers. They just claim they got illegal guns, kick the damn door in. And I think they showed it in that recent movie that the brother made.
And it's for drugs.
It's supposed
this ain't about this. Is you're gonna get a no-knock warrant for child support.
Yeah,
like for that when there's no risk of you flushing anything down the toilet, but they're gonna kill your cousin. That's for sure.
For sure.
You got it.
Insane.
Let's play the video if you don't mind. It's right here.
Them cops in Minneapolis they just can't.
Police search warrant! Police search warrant!
That was such a bitch way to go in that house. Salaki, did you see they walking in slow? Police search warrant! Police search warrant! If you gonna kick the door in, supposed to be up on top of the cat before he go get his gun. You wait for him to get his gun and then blow him the hell away, man. Like, these people are monsters, man. people are damn monsters, man. Like this, like let me tell you something. If I could, was you gonna say something, General?
Yeah, I just know, like it just goes back to how cowardice the police are. You know, when they're not in danger and fear, you know, and got total control, they're good to murder. You know what I'm saying? But when their guys are really in danger, they don't pull that gun.
They
like
sure
January
don't.
6th. You know
like January 6th. Like they wasn't nobody got shot out there that day. They was cool. You so right. Give it up, man. That's a lot. That's a good point. January 6th. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no guns get pulled. Go ahead.
And if I could, and that is one of the inherent problems with America, right? Just to understand, America is tribal. America, like other races, you got the Netherlands, Sweden, China, where there's one race in China.
Mm-hmm.
You get my point? One race in Sweden, one race in the Netherlands. In most countries, they only have one race. But America decided to bring all nations together like Babylon. Mm-hmm. But here's the problem. You have to keep all of them happy. They all got to be happy. And there is only one thing that will help, that will make white people happy in America, and that's being superior to black people. It's why they don't revolt. It's what lets them be able to be here with black people. Right. Otherwise, they would hate being here with all of these races unless they could be assured that they're superior. Right. And so you would think laws like this, the police would want this law to stop. The police will protest and do a work stoppage. You take away no-knock warrants because say what? This endangers the life of police.
Right.
They will say that if we can't kick in the door, if we can't kill them as soon as we sense a threat, then it puts the lives of police in danger. You would think the police would say, let's not kick in the door so that they don't shoot us by accident. You would think everyone would say, hey, listen, man, no more no-knock warrants, because either they're going to kill us by accident or we're going to kill them in defense of ourselves. So why don't we just stop? Why don't we stop no-knock warrants? But the police protest and lobby for no-knock warrants, even though it puts them in enough danger that they have to kill you immediately. That's how dangerous this warrant is. This warrant is so dangerous that the police feel they have to shoot immediately, but their life is in danger. Well, then why don't you just stop? Because if white people cannot shoot you in 2 seconds, they will be angry at the government. Right. They need to do this for us all to live together as one. For us all to live together as one, police have to kill some of us. Like making an omelet, you got to break a few eggs. Mm. It's part of how we can be here together and live together in harmony. They have to kill us sometime, or at least feel like they can. Salaki.
You're right.
And if I could, and that's why that district attorney is not opening up that case. Because what happened after the Black Lives Matter movement? The crime shot through the roof. Now you can go in the store and rob the whole store. The police aren't coming. There's 1,000 stories about that. Yeah. They stopped. It's literally legal to shoplift in California. The police do not come under, I think, $150.
Something like that.
You walk in there and walk out with what you want. Because the security guard that used to beat you up and tackle you, everybody sued him. The cops are hated. You don't like what the cops are doing. So now you can walk into that store in California and steal anything, and they are taught to let you walk out, and the cops are not called. It's legal, and this is in the state of California, and you can go Google this.
And then there are people coming in there with suitcases.
Yeah.
And just dumping stuff off the shelves, close the suitcase, and walking out. You should see the employees. They mad as shit. The employees in there mad as hell.
And they're going to beg the police to start kicking people's teeth in, or else the country can't. Okay, without black people getting killed, really, America can't work.
Yeah.
It's really the only, if you were planning a country, the only way it fits is if you can kill the Mexicans and kill the black people, or else white people are not going to like this country because they're going to feel like it's not theirs.
Right. That's right.
And that's why they got to kill us. It's like, damn, there's something you have to accept to have America.
Yeah. Yeah, and the only way around it is us taking a stand against it. Like we've accepted this evil place so long that we just, this just becomes par for the course. But boy, when we wake up and come back to our own and get away from this daggone place, then it's going to be a big problem. And that's why ISUPK is such a problem. We such a problem because we pull away from this empire, which puts them in a bad position because it throws off, like you're saying, the whole idea of what, how to deal with us. Such a mess, man.
Darian? Come.
There's a connection to all of this. Bomb threats affecting HBCUs have students and alumni concerned.
Keep reading.
Cuddle concern. The FBI is investigating a series of bomb threats lodged towards HBCUs across the United States. The threats have students and faculty alike on heightened alert.
And once again, that's just like what you were mentioning earlier. They got to be able to kill us sometime. And that January 6th, that was them angry at the possibility of black people rising. Like now, they don't want anything Democrat because, of course, it means that more black people in their mind, get to rise. And brother, that's going to create a mess on their side. Those Republicans are going to completely come up against us as a people. Like they're going to want to take it to us directly. And your church is going to be useless. Go ahead, Slug.
No, I don't want to cut you off, sir. But if I could just compound the problem again. This is how crazy this story is. There is a reason that HBCUs are being threatened with bombs. You brought it out last week. It's because of
ball players.
Black student athletes going back to HBCUs.
Deion Sanders. Commander General Yohanna said it last week. Because Deion Sanders got 2 top 10 recruits to come to his school. Come on. Jesus.
Oh, my.
We done.
It's gonna be a revolution.
He ain't gonna make it home. Because Deion Sanders got 5 top 10 recruits and 2 transfers to come to Jackson State in Jackson, Mississippi. Shout out to Captain Kahan. That's where Kahan is from. Jackson, Mississippi.
Yeah.
Captain Kahan. Because of that, every HBCU in the country has been threatened and has bomb threats. Do you know what that means, Mayak? Racists want black people to go to white schools.
Yeah.
Kaboom.
Yeah.
Do you understand what that means? You would think that a racist would go, good, Deion, let the niggers go to the nigger school. No. Racists want top athletes to go to white schools, and they're going to blow up the black schools because black people are going. I'm gonna go faint. I'm trying to get it, sir. I like to understand. They're racist, clearly. They hate HBCUs, which means they're racist.
Yes.
But they're mad that these black kids are not going to white schools.
Yeah.
I gotta study that. I'm gonna have to go home and get into that. Okay, go ahead.
You gonna say something?
I'm gonna have to go home and work that out.
Just sit down. You go in there.
I'm gonna have to.
And what it feel like is just what it is, that black people, we are the fuel of America.
Yeah.
Now, white racists that hate us, they hate us, but we the fuel. We
So
keep this
they-
place- so it's like taking the gasoline out their car, taking us out of their school, putting us there. They hate us, but they need the fuel.
They
we
need us to
keep
go
it going.
to the school.
We the salt flavor.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
And
All right.
and if I could, add one more little other part. We, as blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, we are so naive to how good a slave master Esau is. Like if you had, when you have a farm, you got cows, you keep the bull in a different pen until it's mating season. You let the bull come in. When the mating season is over, you got to separate the bull because you got to have control over how you handle this cattle. And these Edomites, they instinctively know that if you allow black men to go join the HBCUs, the black sports will rise and white sports will go down. So that's bad cattle management. That's bad slave management. They know it instinctively. You know what I mean? That's where boxing came from. Boxing came from having the slaves fight each other to make money and to make sure that they don't unify. So they got to be competition against them where they got to be fighting each other. You know what I mean? So they do it so naturally. Once again, they rioting on January 6th over, Trump not getting into office. But when in 100 years has there ever been a march on the Capitol and a riot at the Capitol because one party didn't get elected? The only reason that January 6th took place was because those white people who were behind Trump were free to be just how a racist Edomite would be, which is you let these Democrats in and all the niggas is going to now rule. We can't have that. And so like this whole occult type love for Donald Trump, it ain't his policies. It ain't none of them things. It's we get to be who we was before, which is the slave master. They had all the right terms and all that. And even his advisors, Roger Stone and them, they all married to Latino women. And they all dress up like Jakes with the hats and the suits and all of that. And they all know our whole world well.
If I could, sir, Roger Stone paid a black man to have sex with his wife in front of him. Google it.
God damn. And Donald Trump always been in the in the black arena.
Oh yeah.
Donald Trump's a big time promoter in all kinds of black sports and black events and all of that. And brother, they use that to totally keep us separated. And they do it in so many ways we barely even see it. And once again, that's why the Bible is gold. The Bible is everything, and it should be everything because it is the key to seeing out of the brainwashing, to seeing past the madness. If you could be allowed to learn it, and now you being allowed to learn it, because now your preacher ain't got no answer. He got no answer for what's happening in the earth. But the UPK does. We always did. Y'all know, those of us that have been rolling together in the UPK, you know that we've been saying these things long before these events started. And we've been saying it because it was in the scriptures. And now it's coming out and we should all be up in them scriptures because that's what's going on. Like, once again, you know what's so sad in this empire? They instinctively know how to be a slave master, and we instinctively know how to be a slave. That's the bad part. We instinctively know how to be a slave. Like, once again, that's what we do. We go to, ain't nothing wrong with massa. Massa, good massa. What's going on, massa? We got to work together, massa. Massa, that nigga over there, he don't like you. He be talking about you on the back of behind the barn. We instinctively, that's in us, in this place. And you know what's in them? Don't let too many of them hang out on the corner, loitering. Don't let them get together too much. You know what I mean? Stop any car with 4 black males in the car. 4 more, stop that car. Check that. It's in there. It's in there. And that's what the hell is going on here. And that's what happened in January 6th. And it's going to spill over. And we're going to pay for listening to them churches. Those of you that was listening to them churches and them preachers, you're going to pay for your lack of vigilance. You're going to pay for not being vigilant on this beast that been on top of us, but instead trying to join him. You're going to pay for it because this is an animal that he can't be cured of his position. That's like, you know what? If I could, last point. And that's why our job is so hard. Our job is so hard because we telling people that are conditioned to be slaves that you're going to rule the kingdom. Hey, we telling the slave, like we had said this, like just like the scripture said, if the Lord had went to any other nation, they would have jumped on this truth. If the Lord has, if you went to any nation and said y'all are chosen, they would have jumped on the knowledge of the truth and they'd have been rocking it out. But we had to go to people that's like, what? Go ahead, you die.
If I could, sir, confession good for the soul. What you bring out is just so heavy today. It felt like I was having camp in my slavery in the back room.
Damn.
It felt like all I needed was a podium and a reader, sir.
Damn.
And this is, and I'm, dropping it on them heavy. And this is one brother that's a 5%er. the devil that's in charge of the slavery, he come and kick the door down. This is the brother's words. The devil come and kick the receiver doors open, and he was like, all right, the devil here, disperse. He said that, sir, I bust out laughing.
He conditioned. It's like you trying to tell him you gonna rule the world, you gonna rule the kingdom, you the chosen people, you the bloodline, you the Massa. This nigga over here. You know what I mean? You a problem now. You know what I mean? So you just experience it. And it's a sad song, but only through the power of the Most High in these scriptures, we can cast that demon out of our brothers and sisters and bring them back to the great royalty that they are. And we're gonna do just that, man. And it is super necessary now. Salaki. Go ahead, Marad.
Salaki. So I ain't want to cut in on you. If I may, they do that at camp too. Like when they see the cops show up, like you can see in the crowd, they look at us like, oh, all right, you know, what y'all gonna do now? You know what I mean? If I may.
It'd be amazing. Go ahead.
If I may, sir, you know, the leadership of black people, they never put the provisions in place if integration didn't work. You know, if it fell apart, if I was
damn, that's a good point.
Like, yeah, man. When the prices of cotton went down, and then the lynchings went up in the South. You know what I'm saying? It's like this only works as long as the economy is flourishing. So it's kind of like the leadership never put those things in place if it ever fell apart. You know what I mean? So it's like kind of like we just hoping that the oppressors is gonna act right. And like if he decides to, go back the way that he usually been, you know what I mean, which is a savage, then we don't have provisions in place to protect us.
You, brother, you are awake. You are fully awake because that is so true. That is exactly what's getting ready to come up on our doorstep, and it's exactly what happened. That's why the Egyptians was killing the Hebrew babies. Yeah. We started coming up, and the Egyptians started coming down. Remember, the Lord said that we would all fill the land. And they said, we vexed the Egyptians. Why did we vex them? We vexed them because we were prospering. We vexed them because we were growing despite how much they were oppressing us. We started growing, and it was vexing to them. And so they basically started in a civil war against us because they were so frustrated and angry. And once again, Ramesses got famous because he was the one willing to harm us, you understand, for them to feel like Muhammad is saying, all these empires were built off of the Egyptian and Babylonian empire. And in every last one of these empires, they only work if that host country can oppress everybody else. Then they can have you there if you can be in a slave mentality. But when it didn't work, Ramesses became famous because, of course, he now was saying, yeah, them Hebrews is a problem. Yeah, let's kill off their men child or whatever the case is as the scripture goes on. And that's what started. And this is exactly what we live in now. Donald Trump is just like Ramesses. Matter of fact, damn near literally like him because Ramesses was known for his ability to build. He got more buildings and statues in Egypt than damn near anybody. And who else is a builder? Donald Trump. Damn near we live in the same damn life all over again. You know what I mean? The book will be out soon. No.
Medallia. Come.
Critical race theory thrust in the spotlight by misinformation.
Keep going.
Critical race theory is a buzzword that is at the center of a heated debate on what children learn in classrooms.
Keep going.
Khan. It says some parents and Republican legislators say educators are indoctrinating students with certain lessons on race that make students feel discomfort or shame.
Keep going.
Khan, sir. They say critical race theory seeks to blame white students for the actions of people in the past and teach that the United States is fundamentally racist or sexist, according to a 2020 executive order from former President Donald Trump.
And what's the story? The story is that what happened? You said there was a misunderstanding?
Khan. They're trying to say, you know what I mean, white kids shouldn't feel bad about what their ancestors did.
This story is saying that white kids really don't understand critical race theory. They're taking it personal when, of course, it's history. I would assume that's what you mean, right? So that was it, sir.
Is it? Do we have the video of them passing that law in Florida that that says that you cannot teach any curriculum that makes white people feel bad?
That was last week. Did
we do that last week?
You brought it up last week. That's for sure.
Let's just bring, if you can find it right quick, Morale. Let's bring that up, because that, you know, I'm still, you know, I'm not a, you know, PhD, but I can't, not for the life of me, figure out why black people are pushing this agenda on white people. I just don't get it. Like, I don't like these and when you hear them try to explain it, it's so sad in that these are highly educated Black and Latino people. I mean, these is top dogs in Esau's kingdom, and they are so blind to Edomites. Like they all the way in the Edomite world. I mean, in the DNA of this place, and yet they don't understand these Edomites. And they acting like this is something that just need to be taught, and people will understand it, and it'll just be, you know, all good. And I don't get it, because it seemed like it's so valuable to us to teach it to us, but trying to force it to them. Do they believe these kids are going to grow up? They're so dumb in such a way. They believe these kids, these white kids, are going to grow up and become, you know, more sensitive and more inclusive of Blacks and Latinos and Native Indians.
That's
when
it.
They
That's
are,
what they believe,
which is crazy. Yeah, like they're going to grow up to hate Black people,
That's
Latinos, and Native Indians. And for the life of me, these educated scholars, where they, you know, how dumb can you be? They are passing laws against it.
Yeah, and I think, sir, because most of these educated Black scholars are married to white people.
Damn,
I think about the and
I forgot.
They grew up with white people. And they don't really, their neighborhood is white.
Jeez.
Their wife is white. Their daughter is white. I mean, their husband is white. Okay, and I think in their mind, there's such good white people out there. How do I know? Because one is in my bed every night. And in their mind, they could make more white people good if they would just tell white people how evil slavery was. When in essence, by telling white people how evil slavery was, white people are going to want to put you in slavery.
Yeah.
And that's just true. And they don't know. And they don't know because of their husband.
Right.
You get it's like them, they're like, you know, like, I love dogs because I got a dog and I kiss my dog. I kiss dog, he love it. But he don't love dogs. He got bit.
Right.
But somebody who loves dogs doesn't understand the fear of dogs because there's one in his bed.
Right.
And that's Black scholars. That's all I can say. I don't know.
You're right. You're right.
That's all.
Like, you're right. Like we grew up in a different
Yeah,
neighborhood.
we grew up. We got bit by dogs.
Yes.
So to us, it's like, get that dog the fuck out. Get that dog out of here. But they like, what's your problem? Just teach the dog. He gonna love you.
Socialize.
Socialize. Whatever the hell that is.
Yes.
Socialize the dog.
And that's such a good analogy, because their dogs are always behaved.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Now, you walk through their neighborhood, their dogs is behaved like
they well socialized.
Oh, yes, they well socialized. So they figure you can do it with all dogs. Damn, that's heavy. So like somebody
Can I ask you a question? Can we just get I don't even know what is a critical race theory lesson? Like, what is a thing that is considered critical race theory? Can we just find some reading or writing where this is what white kids are learning that's driving them crazy? If we could pull that up, that might be helpful. So, like, you there?
If I could, sir, from previous stories that we've done on the show, it was about further understanding the research of what happened in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and in Rosewood.
Right.
Those were the primary things that were shown.
Teaching about Tulsa, Oklahoma, teaching about those things.
If I could,
please.
Critical race theory is the theory of all things in America, all institutions, all things that have been established in some way are led back to racism against Black people. So what they do is they go and take different incidents and different things that normally would be just an incident, and they parlay it into saying this happened because of this government institution, and because of this way of thinking in this institution, and because of this and this and this, which leads it back to a theory of
systemic racism.
Yes.
Okay.
Throughout everything,
Okay.
because it's supposedly in everything.
Okay.
Which I don't understand how you get from that to now we come together. Like, which is what they're trying to do, because the end, supposed end of understanding critical race theory is that now the white person understands how their entire world is built on racism. So now we got to come together.
Christianity.
How you do that without tearing down the entire empire, which is making them furious and making them pass laws to fight against tearing down the whole empire. Go ahead, Desire.
So what they're saying is that by educating the white people about critical race theory, then somehow we're going to come together into the end of time.
Yeah, in other words, somehow we will change all these institutions. That's why they're trying to take down the statues, pass certain laws. So somehow they will. This is supposed to make us and them come together and change the whole entire America into a new thing that has equal. That makes us all equal. That'll solve racism. That'll solve the problem of racism, because it'll be built on something different. It'll be built on, it'll be changed. Go ahead.
They think white people are human. Like, they'll see this, feel guilty, and their empathy, and they'll understand what they did. Oh, they're right, and then become straight, and then become good to you. You know what I'm saying? That's their theory. Wow. You know what I'm saying?
So that's why they got to show you the race riots, so you can feel sorry for the people that were killed,
and find yourself guilty for having taken a part in it, and guilty not because you were there, like taking away the idea that you was not there, because you were there, because if you went to this school, or you was in that institution, or you
lived in Oklahoma, if your grandfather had a business in Oklahoma, and now you have a family with money, they benefited from the Oklahoma riots.
Exactly. These corporations, these businesses stem from this thing.
I got you now. Okay.
So all this is wrong, and now we gotta do something different about it. Which, man, you're gonna get black people hung for nothing. They're gonna be hung on these ropes for nothing. They're not prepared for this. They're not prepared for it, and you're gonna get them hung and killed for absolutely no reason. And it's so biblical in this. It's exactly what those leaders did when they came up against Christ. It's exactly what they did. They got tons of people. I mean, the Romans slaughtered us. Damn near made us extinct in 70 AD. You know what I'm saying? Like 30, 40 years after that BS that they committed against Christ, against Peter, against Paul. They went up against all of them. And by going up against all those prophets, they kept their relationship with the Romans until the Romans decided it was beneficial to them to just wipe us the hell out. And that's exactly what they did. And that's exactly what's going on out here now. Like, we got fools ruling over black people.
You don't understand white people. Like,
no.
I didn't know what critical race theory was until you just said it. Y'all just said it just now. Whoever's doing that doesn't understand white people.
No.
And they don't understand even human nature itself. And that, those people who love America, who are Christians married to a white woman and are rich now in white society. If you think that reminding white people of the fact that they benefited off of the crime of their ancestors is going to make them nicer, then you don't understand something that is critical about why America is a success. America is a success because they can kill and murder and still be the hero of the story.
Yes.
Like their ability to be innocent no matter what they do, that's why America is great. Because they can kill the Indians, slaughter them, and be the country of the free and the brave. But if they're not the country of the free, let me tell you what they would have to do, right? If white people are guilty about what they've done to the North American Indian, about what they've done to the Hispanics and the blacks, the guilt will make them have to wipe us out so they don't feel guilty.
Yeah.
They'll have to get rid of us.
Yeah.
And that's human nature.
That's human nature.
Like if you feel guilty because you see this person, You would have to make him disappear so you could have a peace of mind.
Cain.
Give him a hand.
That's his daddy. Cain and Abel.
The spirit of Cain.
Yes, Maya. Yes, Lord. That is how Abel got killed. My God, my head popped off. Abel got killed from that.
That's right.
From that. Because of this guilt, this feeling of he's righteous, I'm evil. And he had to kill him to be free from the guilt. He had to put him in the ground so that he wouldn't have to see him every day and be reminded of how evil he was. He had to kill him. The only way America can be great is if black people and Hispanics can take a L.
That's it.
That's it. You're gonna have to eat this. You're gonna have to be killed and raped and act like nothing ever happened and let him be the hero of the story. And then we can all build skyscrapers and go to the moon and Mars and marry white women. But if you want to make him guilty, he is going to put us in the ground to get away from the guilt. I don't even know how you could argue differently.
And critical race theory to him is he's reading the critical race theory stories and saying, well, that was necessary to build a country. Well, that was what we needed. Well, that's what really should happen. And listen, and now the critical race theory on their side is so prevalent now because they see all the violence and poverty and hell and drugs in the city. And they don't look at it like we did this. They look at it like you did this. So in their mind, we should have oppressed them because look what they're doing. Look how they are. Meanwhile, they're the ones that caused it. But in their mind, their critical race theory is we should always be in charge. We should always be on top. We should, if you have to kick in the door and kill one of them, then it's what you have to do so that crime doesn't affect us as well. Like we don't want that crime to come to us. Right now, they said the western part of Maryland, the western part of the state of Maryland wants to secede from the eastern part. Because the eastern part is filled with Baltimore and black people, and the western part is filled with Midwestern white people. And so they want to get away from the eastern part because all of the funds and economics has to go to the city because it's the part that's struggling the most. So they're like, we want to cut that part of the city off, and we want to just be over here. Another suburb, a suburb of DC, one of the suburbs of DC, Georgetown. Super prominent suburb of DC. Georgetown wants to secede from DC. They want to break out. They want to break off. Like all these Edomite counties want to break off because once again, they see what's going on in the cities that they created, but they don't look at it like they created. They look at it like y'all created it, and you deserve us to be to have oppressed you, and we shouldn't feel bad for what we did. So they're fighting it by saying, This was a necessary thing to build what we build. And if you get right, like Martin Luther King got right, then eventually you could have some of it as well. It's lunacy. And I don't know why or how these so-called educated blacks come to this conclusion and pushing it like it's a government agenda.
It's
pushing
insane.
It ridiculous.
And I'll give you a good litmus test. Any white man or white person that even thinks that America is wrong and is built on slavery, what white man was willing to say there should be no America because the only way it existed is by killing and slaughtering the North American Indians, the Hispanics, and the blacks? Even if they hate racism, they're happy they have this country. They still driving that car, living in that house. Like as mad as they are about how they got it, they ain't willing to part with it.
Exactly.
Which means they're happy that it happened. They ain't sold everything and went to live in a cave in Russia or went to live in Germany or went to live in Sweden. And they in America mad at racism in Manhattan.
Listen,
in Soho.
And if I could, if Slock to cut you off. And not only that, they are constantly trying to reminisce the life they had. They trying to be Daniel Boone. They trying to wear, the fringe jacket and the hat. They trying to go. They always in the woods hunting and survival. What's the TV show? where they go out there buck naked and be naked and afraid. Like they going back to what their ancestors did to conquer. Go ahead, you die.
If I could, sir, with our Haitian brothers at the border, them devils thought they was John Wayne.
Yes, they did. On horses and whips.
On horses and whips, and that's why your country's a mess. After they done starved the damn country, like they and okay, another good point you brought up. That's why they down there on the border. They want to do what they daddies did, and you trying to teach them that they wrong. They want to go do what they daddies did to the Mexicans. They want to fight the Mexican War again. They want to fight, them wars again. And listen, and the Irish are still mad that they got sent to fight the Civil War, and mad because in their mind now, they had to fight that Civil War for us. That's what's in their mind. They had to fight that Civil War because America was falling apart. But in their mind, they had to fight that Civil War for us, and they mad to this day that they had to go down there and fight that damn war. So you telling me you're going to now teach them that all of this was wrong, all of this was evil, and that they now got to change their hearts and minds and make everything equal. When, brother, the minute they see us coming up, which they will see us coming up the same way they saw us during the time of Moses. When Moses came together and got them brothers together and started raising, they saw us start to prosper. You understand? When you go back and read about Goshen, from the movies, there's a big misconception. Goshen was rich as hell. And the reason Goshen was rich as hell was because Goshen is right up there, where Cairo at the top of the country. And they could travel into the Greek Isles. So they were trading into them Greek Isles while the rest of Egypt had to go travel way further to do it. They were right there. So they were trading and making and raising up, making money and, sending out stuff. And of course, us being a nation and who we are and our abilities, Goshen was flourishing right before we had to leave up out of there. While Moses and them is holding back these Egyptians, the Lord putting curses on these Egyptians, we coming up, having babies. Remember they said we was having babies on the run. The women couldn't even leaven the bread.
That's right.
We were coming up while Egypt was falling, and they lost their mind. And then even after we left, they doubly felt bad because now we in the wilderness and the economy was still tanking. The Greeks was talking about overthrowing them, and they looking at us and saying, look at how they left out of here, man, with all that wealth they had, with all that prosperity and everything that they had. Let's go down there and kill them, bring them back into the and say and tell them you owe us, man. You done left us blind. You didn't give us a chance to fix our empire, man. You should see the letters. I've been reading the letters out on the stuff that there was people telling the Pharaoh, what's wrong with you? Why are you letting these people prosper the way they are? Why are you doing this? They got letters from back then where they was complaining, damn near like the Republicans complaining now about black people. The same damn thing. And this joint is happening a second time over. And it is so clear that, brother, the avenue out of this is we better do for Christ what we did for Moses.
Yes, right.
And Moses said it in the 18th chapter anyway. He said, the Lord will send you somebody just like me.
That's what he said. And
he was talking about our king. He wasn't talking about somebody from some other nation, man. And we better wake up and recognize that, I don't understand these scholars. Like, they making such a horrible mistake. But we shouldn't be surprised because we've done it 1,000 times before.
And it's never going to gain traction, even with black people. Eventually, once black people see that white people don't like this, black people are going to be against it as well.
You're right.
They're going to not like it because here's the accompanying spirit that you would have to have as a black person. As a black person, you could only hate slavery, but so much, because if not for slavery, you'd have never got here to America.
Oh my God.
You'd have never been a Christian. You would have never found Jesus.
Yep.
If not for the whip. And so even in the minds of black people, it's like, it can't go so far because really, even though we claim to hate slavery, we're all really happy that we were brought here. We're all really happy that we found our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because we couldn't have found him in the darkest holes of Africa. So we're here. And even black people really are not going to want to talk about slavery that much either. Like, they're going to want all this slavery talk to stop, because slavery will remind them how they found Christianity.
and if I could, you brought it out so heavy earlier as well.
Please.
Because a person who thinks like a slave does not want to upset the master. It's like you acting outside of your character. You know what I'm saying? It's like you know what I mean? Like we always used to joke about this at the speaking. We always used to say, y'all down, when we would speak downtown, we would always say, see y'all downtown, and hold that video for me too of the law, them passing the law in Florida. I'm gonna come back to it. But we used to always joke downtown when we speaking. We used to always say, downtown, y'all just the politest and the most behaved black people we ever seen. You understand? You open the door, you say thank you, excuse me. But when you get uptown among your own, you revert back to being, you know, evil as hell at one another. You ready to kill somebody to step on your sneaker. Why? And we used to say the reason for that is because really you think like a slave and you think like you around master. And when you get from being around master, you're not. And that's true. That's exactly like you bring it out. Like that's how we really act. We act like we, you know. So now you asking the slave to turn around now and to consider himself the master. That's an uphill battle. Only the UPK could do that.
I'm telling you.
And it's only through the power of these scriptures, man.
You need God for that.
You need God for that. You know what I mean? Because 400 years of conditioning of blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, and really the whole damn world. Because you go around the world, I've been over there. You go around the world, they treat white people like the slave master as well in their own countries. White man can go damn near anywhere. He can go in the jungles of God knows where, and they still look at him like, yo, this is God. This is Jesus right here. And they treat him just like that. And brother, and the only way to get out, and here's the thing, and them other nations are supposed to be that way. Because when Christ's kingdom gets set up, they're going to treat him like he's God. They're going to treat us like we're God. And they're supposed to. Them nations are supposed to be doing the bidding of whoever's ruling this earth. And they've fallen in line. But the problem is the Lord's chosen people. Them 12 tribes are not supposed to be doing the bidding of a slave. That's why the scripture said princes walking on the ground. We doing a job we shouldn't be doing, but we so conditioned to do it. When you say, oh, you a prince. You ain't supposed to be walking on the ground, man. Get the Edomite off the horse and you get up on the horse. It's like, whoa. No, not Massa. Massa's supposed to be up on that horse. That's our mindset. And those that's doing, like you said, those that's doing that, I don't even understand it. But Rob, play me that video if I could real quick, and I'm going to get up off of it. I know I'm running on y'all slot.
I know all my life, you know, before the truth, all the way up to now, you know, when black people need things in the community, they got a slave mentality that makes them ask the question, when are they going to open up this type of store? When are they going to do this? We need a hardware store in this neighborhood. We got to go all the way. When are they going to open up a hardware store? There's always, we need the master to make this thing right because we lacking in the community. You know what I'm saying? Instead of doing it for ourselves.
That's so the right mindset that we've been in. You right about that. That's like making brick without straw. It's like when Pharaoh gonna bring the straw down, man. We trying to make these bricks. He got to bring that straw down. When he cut off the straw, it was like, oh my God, it was like the end of the world. Like now, go find your own straw. It was like, oh my God, they went crazy. Which will happen to us. It'll be like open your own businesses, fix your own neighborhoods. They're gonna eventually go to that. The Edomites, they're gonna go to that because as we rise up, they're going to hate the fact that we're coming up and they have to provide us with jobs or they have to provide us with some form of economics. It's going to be more of the more you come up and disrupt the spirit of this place, the more they're going to cut you off. And that's why you might as well get in the mindset of being cut off now. You understand? And start to build your nation and your kingdom because eventually you're going to get cut off. Right. You know what I mean? You don't believe me? Go ask them in 70 AD that was eating their leather shoes. They was eating them leather shoes because they listened to Caiaphas, joined the Romans, and then when the Romans cut them off, they were stuck out there on their own. Right. Had no way to take care of themselves, no way to support themselves. Their whole life for 4 or 5 generations was all about serving their slave master, the Romans. So they didn't know what the hell to do with themselves. And of course, we were eating our babies by 71 AD. By 68 AD, we was putting our own babies in the ovens and killing people. It was so bad when you go back and read the story of Josephus, we would put our babies in the oven. And if the Israelite soldiers smelled the flesh, they would come kick your door in, man, to take the baby from you and to snatch it out the oven and eat the baby themselves, which is insane. Like they smell your baby cooking in the oven that you done put in the oven and come kick your door in and go get the baby, cut a leg off, a foot or something, and have themselves a meal because they smelling him cooking inside your damn house, that's where we went. That's exactly where we went. Like we paid a hell of a price for rejecting Christ and accepting black leaders who were aligned with the Romans. We paid a ridiculous price for that. You understand? The Most High punished us in a horrific way. And this time around, we're going to really pay for it. We're going to pay for it with nuclear fire. That's what we're going to pay for it. Those of you that get stuck here and caught up into this because you rejecting what Christ is so mercifully given to you ahead of time. Like this knowledge we putting out now is being given to you such ahead of time. Before all of this pandemic, we were saying all this. We was bringing all this out for years. This could have been handled and brought back together. We said it about our Mexican brothers. Remember when they were going through their troubles? Look, we got to align ourselves with them. We got to join that other tribe. We rejected that. We could have had right now all is going on. We could have been halfway built another country on the borders of Mexico.
Yeah, I'm right.
All that desert land, all that farmland out there on that border of Mexico, they crossing them borders. You saw all that water and them rivers and all that out there, man, that's out there just sitting there, untouched because, of course, Esau don't want nobody over there because it's right on his damn border. There's so much we could have done to help ourselves. Instead, we got black leaders telling us, we got to teach white people critical race theory. Like, I don't even get it. Go ahead and play it for me. You was going to say something, Sluggy. Did you have your hand? Okay, let's play that and I'm going to get up off it. I just wanted everybody to hear this cat talk about this new law.
Critical race theory last year. This year, lawmakers want to take that a step further.
And it was banned by rule by the state board. This in essence would codify that rule.
So like I said, this is the news story. I'm gonna have to go and grab the other one.
Okay, we can come back to it if we need to. Let's keep moving.
You can read about
it. Of Florida. Yeah, you want to read the main point? Yeah, then don't even worry about it, Murad. You can scrap it. He'll just read it.
Welcome back.
Florida bans critical race theory from its classrooms. Tallahassee, Florida. Florida's State Board of Education banned critical race theory from public schools classrooms Thursday, adopting new rules it would say shielding school children from curricula that could distort historical events.
Go ahead. That was it. Okay. So they went and put a bill together and just ended it.
And that's because of this law, that governor of Florida is the front runner to win the Republican nomination if Trump doesn't just want to take it from him.
That's right. Like if Trump
ain't
said nothing. If Trump don't say nothing, he's definitely. I know this much. He definitely a shoo-in for vice president.
Oh, that's
without a doubt, he's a shoo-in to step up behind the president and behind Trump and grab that seat.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Go ahead, Doc.
So like if I may, I seen Trump still rallying, and it's not even like a political season.
And one thing that they never thought about with Trump is a promoter. You know what I mean? Like he's the money behind Don King and all them. He tied in with the mobsters and all that. This cat knows how to promote. He knows how to take something small and make it humongous and big. That's what he does. That's why his name is on all them buildings. That's his specialty. And as a result, he was campaigning while president. Remember, he was having rallies while he was president, which no president does. He's having full out campaign rallies. He done already got in the office. And he's still, full out campaign rallies. And so it's not surprising he's not doing that. They taking polls like he's fully active. Like he giving them the business about getting that seat up in there. And if he get up in that seat again, it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be like the amount of evil he gonna unleash is gonna be insane. And he don't have to worry about a second term. He only gets one term. He got 4 unless he stays in office, by something.
He only gonna do one.
Huh?
if he went back again, he can
only do the one.
Oh,
yeah, he only could get one more term. You can only be president 8 years, so you can only get one more term, unless you declare a state of war or something like that. invoke martial law or whatever the hell. You know, they got certain laws that allow him to just shut everything down and take over, and so he could invoke those as well. They said he was talking about it last time, right before the end of his term. He was talking about it, and brother, if any of that jumps off, you Christians, boy, it's going to be amazing to see you grovel at his feet, just like you did the first time. Oh, what's his name? Teeth Man.
Steve Harvey.
Did you see him hobble up there to the master? Black people, that's my nickname for him.
That's a good one.
Like
Teeth Harvey is a good one.
You know what I mean? Like he went up in there, brother, and black people lost it on him. He went up in there sitting down talking to Trump. You know, some of the greats went up there. What's his name? The football, Jim Brown. Heartbreaker.
I'm telling you.
Sitting up there with it on one cane, you on the last cane, you up there, you know, smiling at Master, looking for a crumb. You know what I mean? Here waiting on Master again. So a lot of people went up there and kissed his damn ring.
Kanye West.
Forget about it.
He was in love with it.
He was hugging and squeezing and kissing on him and damn near everything. Yeah, there you
West
go.
called him a father figure.
Damn.
He said he was a father figure to him.
Damn. Look at her in the red dress. Look at she's praying. Look at it. Go back to that one with her in the red dress. Look at them. Look at them praying for these evil niggas. Look at look at let me show you that. Wait, go back if you could. Go back, please. Give them that. Oh man, Barack, come on, give it to me. So but listen, them people standing around Donald Trump are the evilest niggas in the world.
Yes, they are.
If they kick in their door and find babies in the basement being chopped up, I will not be surprised. Look at that. The prostitution. And I think them two girls on the left, they like got a radio show or something.
Oh, those are those ridiculous Judite women who love Donald Trump so much and were like shucking and jiving and like a coon show.
Woo. And look at her with the yellow hat. The one in that with the yellow hat, she looked like a wizard. She looked like the Wizard of Oz. So
Diamond and Silk.
Like it's insane. Salaki, I'm gonna run on. Go ahead. Let's move on. Go ahead. Please.
I had the video of that the guy you wanted,
right?
Of like an interview with him talking about the critical race. If y'all want it,
we might. What you think?
We might move on.
Yeah, let's go ahead and move on.
Kind of one.
I appreciate you finding it, but he broke it down when he read it. We probably gotta get these other big stories in, right?
Joe Rogan apologizes for racial slur after video surfaces.
They said that Joe Rogan, I never knew this, but they said that Joe Rogan came to Philadelphia with some people and said, Planet of the Apes. They came out and said, that's what Joe Rogan came out and said. And let me tell you, one of the reasons they love Joe Rogan.
My apology.
One of the reasons that they love Joe Rogan, okay, hold it for just a sec, is
my apologies.
No sweat. You got it? One of the reasons they love Joe Rogan is because they think Joe Rogan speaks freely, and they begging for people, they begging for white men to speak freely so they can really bring out that demon that's in them, which is to hate us. And since he done said these things a few times, they feel good. Like Rush Limbaugh. Yeah. Rush Limbaugh was one of the most racist Edomites in the world, and they loved him. Like you can't get on that level without having some good hate against us. That's why I was shocked, because I know that he done defended us a couple of times, which made me like, this cat done made it to the top and didn't go into the usual, but that wasn't true. He went into it. Go ahead.
Well, okay, I don't know whether he as a devil believes or doesn't believe, but I know this this much that he wants to say something to get people to watch that show.
Boom.
That much is for damn sure. I think like a lot of our oppressors, I don't believe that many of them believe in anything, but believe in making money, believe in doing whatever they need to do. Saying, I don't know if that DeSantis governor, if he likes black people or doesn't, or likes Mexicans or doesn't, but I know he knows what to say to become the next president.
That's right.
Like I know he knows that, but as far as his personal feelings about Mexicans, tons of them you found out later. What's his name? Remember Strom Thurmond? Strom Thurmond? Yeah. Strom Thurmond, you research him. Growing up, there was no racist more racist than Strom Thurmond.
That's right.
He was a segregationist, like a segregation forever and forever. Come to find out he had a black wife and sleeping with a black woman every damn day.
Damn.
Like, so as far as what he personally feels, who the hell knows? But Strom Thurmond knew how to be a congressman for 50 years in South Carolina. So now I don't know what Joe Rogan feels, but he knows what survivalists, prepper, gun nut white people like.
Yeah.
That much he damn sure knows.
So true.
He knows what his audience likes. And Joe Rogan's audience, even that look he has with that head, he's talking to somebody. Like if you a proud boy, AR-15, watch all the gun videos.
Deer hunter.
Deer hunting. Turn a hole in the yard into a shelter in the yard. Full of beef jerky. Yeah. Right. Gun nuts. Give me something else they like. They like a ton of just guns and surviving and thinking you a badass that doesn't need any government to tell you what to do.
Right. A little MMA too.
Oh, Jesus. MMA. You lethal?
Yeah.
You tactical and lethal as you can be. You a Joe Rogan fan, and he knows what you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So lock yourself.
Yeah. Because all of it comes along with hating us too.
Yeah, you know.
that's part and parcel of the cost
too. You know what you like.
Yeah. Man.
So lock yourself. That was it, Joe Rogan. You got the Tiki Barber one from earlier? Yeah, let me show Commander GEN.YAHANNA if I could what we went over earlier. This is the Flores story. What's his name again? Brian Flores, right? Mm-hmm. He was an NFL head coach. He went on a lot of coaching interviews to be a head coach.
Okay.
And he went on interviews after he got fired from being a head coach because the NFL mandates that you have to interview a black head coach.
Damn.
It's called the Rooney Rule, right? From some cat named Rooney who believed that you should hire some black people or at least interview some black people, right? So every NFL team has to have an interview. The premise being they believe if you interviewed him, you might like him. Yeah. You might just like him and it's like the cut of his jib and give him a job. So the rule is every team has to hire one, right? Has to interview one. So he is prepared to go on an interview with the New York Giants. The day before the interview, a white football coach calls him and says, "Hey, I heard you got the job, man. They're telling you got the job. They said your interview went great. I heard you got the job." They said, he said, my interview, I have an interview. My interview is not till tomorrow. Are you sure you don't mean Brian Smith? He said, I messed up. Sorry. He thought he was talking to a white Brian who was getting the job. Come to find out it was the black Brian who was going for an interview that was never going to come to nothing anyway. And the white Brian got the job.
Because they had already hired the white Brian, but was going to have
the way white people do,
exactly.
Talking
and already said,
well, he don't get this job.
Exactly.
But first, let us interview this nigger one time.
Get this over with.
And then, but both of their names were Brian.
I got
so he made a phone mistake
and called the wrong.
Called
Brian.
The black Brian. He sued that team.
Okay.
Because he went on this interview and he went, even though he knew it was false. But he went, why?
He still went on the interview.
He went with that Martin Luther King, I can do it, have a dream. Who knows? They might just like the cut of my jib and change their mind. They hired the white Brian. And that was that.
I don't know if I told this story.
What happened. And so, but afterwards, he sued him.
Okay.
Yeah, so he's calling the Giants racist.
Okay.
Because, of course, the Giants gave him an interview because he was black, but had no intention of hiring them.
Or even
and this
considering.
is something that I think all of us have to get comfortable with. Whenever you call a white man racist, some black person is going to step up to defend him. How do I know that? From going to camp in the Israelite school of UPK. So you have
a vibrant new medium.
And I know that you don't know this, but if you ever try to chastise a white person for anything, someone black will step up and defend.
I don't know if I told this story
with the New York Giants
in 2005. I don't know if I told this story.
Also, sir, it happened with Jay-Z. Jay-Z did it. Remember that with Colin Kaepernick? Colin Kaepernick was calling the entire NFL racist.
Yes.
But then Jay-Z said, we got to stop talking about this.
Yes.
They love us. Who is the Super Bowl headliners this year? Everybody black. It's like a fish fry in there at the Super Bowl or what's the other thing the black people go to and dance at? They love to dance at. When the line stepping and all that, so I forget the name of those things.
God.
A block party or a barbecue is at the Super Bowl this year. Everybody's black because there's always someone black that will stop you from chastising white people for their racism. And here is Tiki Barber doing it right now. If you have it, go ahead and play.
I don't know if I told this story on the show, BP. Wellington Tamir passed away in 2005. It was one of the most emotional. I've not put it. It hurt me. Like Wellington Tamir, who brought me to the Giants, passed away, and we knew it was going to happen. Tom Coughlin said, "We are the team of record for Wellington Tamir and Bob Tisch, by the way, who I was actually really close with because I lived in the city. He took me under his wing." And when Wellington Tamir passed away, Ronnie Barnes, who's black, by the way, the vice president of medical, whatever his title is, he's our head trainer, called me and said, the mayors would like for you to come up to Westchester so you can say goodbye to Wellington. And I mean,
I didn't know this. Wow, go ahead.
So it was our off day, and I remember this. I get emotional when I think about this because why me? Right? I get to their house at Westchester. Jeremy Shockey's leaving because Wellington loved Jeremy Shockey, and he's like Shockey says to me, they're all in there, and I'm like, who? He's like the whole family is in there, all the kids, grandkids, and I mean, I went to his bedside. He's still alive at this point, and I just tell him, thank you for making me a giant. And you know the fact that the mayors and I always said this with the Tisch as well, like they embraced me like I was family. You know what I mean? And so I know them intimately. So when I say I don't believe they're racist, it's because I know they're not. Right? And they don't have the right head coach, the black head coach. Even though there's black players, they don't have a black general manager or a black coordinator. Right? I know they're not a racist organization. And so for Dwayne to try to boil me into saying something that's not true, it's frustrating because you don't know my truth and you don't know my interactions with this Giants organization. And to force me simply because I have this seat to do so.
I haven't, this could be a gamble. Show me his wife. Marah. Am I right? You go ahead.
Go ahead.
Many times I just gamble it, sir.
God.
I just go and look at him and I go, I know he has never had.
Since I got
Put it
a
up on the screen for everyone.
Like, man.
Many times I just gamble that. Because I just know he's never had a black woman.
There you go.
He don't know what that's about. He don't know the joy of that. Here we go here. That's it. That's what he's doing. That's about as obvious as you could be that he's never had a black or Hispanic in his life. And when those white people talked to him, he thought God came down off of Mount Zion to bless him.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. He is.
You're dying.
If I could, sir, I've been watching football a long time. If I may, which is ironic. Tiki Barber retired in his prime. And 2 years after he retired, he tried to come back into the NFL. The Giants, the team that owned his rights, said that if you try to come back, we don't want you. We'll release you. They blocked his return because he wanted to pursue a career in broadcasting.
I mean, like that's the problem. The problem is because they have destroyed us so much that when they decide to bring one of us up into their world, we act like God is blessing us. Okay. Like that's why he said, "Why me?" Like that's what you say. That's what you say when you believe God blessed you.
Yeah.
You be like, "Lord, why me?
I'm not worthy."
Yes, Lord, why me? I'm not, But he doing it to a white man on his deathbed. And a white man who made millions off of it. Like this white man didn't just, for the sake of his good heart, make you. He saw your skills and ability and got rich off of you. Right. I mean, like if he paid you $20 million or whatever, how much did he make when he was playing? Do you know?
Like millions of dollars. That's what they
close to about $100 million.
He made $100 million. Now, unless white people are dumb as hell, when I want to sell a 5-cent candy, it better cost me a penny.
There you go.
You understand? That's just business. If I'm going to sell something, the cost better be ridiculously low so I can make a profit. Go ahead, Al.
If I may, just hit me. He didn't really. He made about that, but he had to give most of that up to his first Moabite wife. He got with Esau afterwards.
But the point is, Esau paid him $100 million, which means that rich devil is sitting down or dying on his bed with his children and grandchildren around him, and all his favorite players and everything he liked in his baseball glove. That bastard is able to do that because he made $1 trillion off of that black man that he made $100 million. And that's why you have to have your own kingdom, because you can't, because once again, you will serve everybody but the Lord. And listen, and once again, when I was young and I would read the scriptures and it would say the Lord is a jealous power. I understood what jealousy was, but I couldn't understand why would he be jealous? He's the Most High. He don't need anybody. I understand now why. Yeah. Because you'll go serve anybody who will give you a so-called beautiful white woman, a dog, and will give you, $100 million. You'll make that person your God, and you'll hate black people, like you brought out. That's why he said black coach, black players. Like he don't consider himself black. No, like he's elevated to heaven. Yeah, he's left the earth, and now he's in heaven, which is the top of white America. He's on yachts, drinking top wine and eating great foods, sitting in restaurants with other white people, driving the best of cars, being adored and famous as a player. You know what was so in the movie The Matrix that was so heavy? Remember when, and I don't know if y'all remember this, the movie The Matrix came out, and remember the one guy rebelled against them, and they took him to the restaurant with the steak dinner.
That set it off.
That was it. He was eating that steak saying, I know this isn't real, but it's so good. He said, I want you to put me back in the Matrix, make me somebody famous, make me this. Like he's willing to give his soul to be in the Matrix's heaven. And that's what this brother did. And brother, that's why if you poor, and you're in the ghetto, and you have no money in your pocket, and you are struggling and have no education, you are the crown jewels of Jesus Christ's kingdom.
That's right.
You are the crown jewels. Because that fool right there is never going to do what it takes to build Christ's kingdom. No. He's going to do everything he can to tear it down. He's the guy that's standing next to Caiaphas saying, crucify him. Crucify him, when Christ can't use him. That's why the scriptures say about a rich man getting in the kingdom is like going through the eye of a needle. Because his God is not the God you looking at. God. And that's why Christ called us, and why our calling is so amazing. And why, once again, for us, it's amazing in that we think like slaves too. We think just like him. And if not for them scriptures and for Christ, and with enough opportunity, we would do what he did. But because of the Lord putting it inside us and making us think clearly how we are not to be slaves is why Christ get to build a kingdom. And guess what? In that kingdom, Christ will call you around the table. Oh, yeah. You will drink the best of wines and eat the best of foods and have the most prominent wives. And you'll do it and not have to give the glory onto the same person that's murdering your brothers and sisters every time they get inside a car behind the wheel, every time they kick in a door, every time they go to bed at night, every time they need to make money off of selling drugs, every time they need to run some business to make more money and need enough slaves to do it. Your people won't have to die. And which is why a man of God, a real man of God, to be the jewels of the Lord, must care about the Lord's people more than their own wealth and prosperity. And that is exactly why he could almost never make the kingdom unless he make a complete change, which why would he?
Yeah.
The God he served has blessed him with everything. And it's also why I understand now why the gates of the kingdom got to stay open day and night, because we got to take every ounce of glory from these gods, every ounce of glory from these nations. Like they got to be in the ghetto, in poverty, with nothing, because that's the only way they're going to say, you know what? That God I was worshiping wasn't even real. The real God is here now, and now I'll worship him. And brother, that's what the hell has had to happen. And it's also why you getting a crown of glory, because everybody wants to be Tiki Bob. Everybody wants. I guarantee you, brother. You walk in a restaurant or in a club or wherever the case is, and he's in there with his white woman on his arm. I guarantee you'd have to nudge your way through the crowd just to shake his damn hand, because they made a god out of him. You understand? And that's why you being in this truth is so great, because you chose to not gain, or you chose to lose all of that. And instead, you chose to take on Christ's kingdom, which once again, I got to say it one more time, it's exactly what Moses did. Moses was more famous than Tiki Barber, more wealthy, more powerful, more prominent than this fool ever could be. And he rejected it all for that brother that was standing on the street getting murdered by an Egyptian. He rejected that all. Don't tell me the ISUPK ain't the greatest place on the face of God's green earth. This is where men of God really are raised up. Salah. That was deep.
That's it.
Complete. Like his voice was just amazingly evil. Go ahead, Salah.
Khan Makan, sir. ABC suspends Whoopi Goldberg over Holocaust comments.
Is there any way we can get her original speech when she said it? And because it's important to examine what
is a video of it.
There's a video of it out. She got the blonde braids in her hair. She must have been feeling white.
She must have. That's how she feel a lot of time.
God, you know, man.
Like days.
God, there it is. I don't know if that's the comment though. That's ET. Yeah. But they do have the comment out. They trying not to have it out. And she looks so ridiculous with that nonsense on.
It sure does.
That looked ridiculous. If you can find it. Let me tell you something about what she said. Whoopi Goldberg, what black people are supporting her behind this, and that's always a good thing. It's a good thing now that we are at least circling the wagons about our people. Yeah. Even though Whoopi Goldberg's intention was not to promote black people, and it was not to safeguard us. Whoopi Goldberg in her statement was throwing us under the bus. And she was doing it, and this is why it was so confusing and stupid what she said. Whoopi Goldberg was trying to use the Holocaust, the thing about the Holocaust, as a teaching moment to tell us we got to be better at treating other people. That's why I want the original statement, if you can find it, Marah. It's hard to find, they said. But if you could find it, I want it, because it says exactly what she said. And if you examine it, you'll see that she was trying to take that teaching moment. Is that it? That might be it, right?
They definitely go. I think they're gonna put it up on the screen in quotes right there. I think right there.
Yeah, hold that. Read that one out loud, if you can, for us, once he puts it back up, because Whoopi Goldberg's intention was not right. And this is the problem. Like every moment about racism always turns into a moment to teach us that we got to love them more. And listen, and many black leaders are starting to think about coming up against black people for their racism, so-called racism, because they see the march of brothers and sisters coming together to protect themselves. The Whoopi Goldbergs of the world will get us destroyed, man. Boy, I wish I could. I saw it the other day. I should have kept the video.
You might be able to read it. Nara, or whoever, can you read it?
Carter will come. On today's show, I said the Holocaust is not about race.
That's not it. That's not the original statement. If you could take a second to find, I hate to go through, but it's so important because what she was, in essence, what she was trying to say was that it wasn't about race and it wasn't racism, that it was about man's inhumanity to man. In other words, man got to be more human towards other men. And that takes the racism out of white people. She was saying it to say, you know, it wasn't no racism. It's just men not being men. And that makes it so that white people's racism isn't real either. In other words, if it wasn't racism in the Holocaust, then it's not racism with white people either. It's just man being, you know, evil towards other men. And then she even made a statement in it that said something like, you know, and all people have to look at their humanity. And that, brother, is a subtle attack on us. We got to look at our humanity when we're being abused unrelentlessly. Like you can't see the Holocaust racism because in your mind, black people are getting a little racism too. So now it ain't no racism. Go ahead, Marat. Marat's trying to get your attention.
This is what got her in trouble.
No, this is
quotes on it.
No, this is her correcting. I stand corrected. That's her.
Oh,
that's her correcting it. You got to get when she said it in that room.
Where's the white one? Go up and see if that white right there. See what that says.
Okay,
is that the same thing? All that white in that writing, is that an apology as well?
You got to get that like that one. What's that video? Is that it there? Try that.
Be it right there.
That could be it. Because the
one that's playing right now.
The one that's playing right now. Can we hear that? Yes, sir. Because the so-called Jew, I believe she's the so-called Jew, right?
Who?
That one in the blue, the Edomite. She started coming back against her.
I think she's Italian.
Oh, she's Italian or something. She started pushing back against her, like trying to get her to catch herself before she went over the cliff. But she stood on it, so the Edomite had to just let her get that one. Can you get?
Let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race. It's about man's inhumanity to man.
Whoopi Goldberg is apologizing for those controversial.
They try to shave it off, but that.
Let's be truthful.
Did they go back to it? Wait, go back. See if you can get the rest of it. If they let you.
I'm shocked because, you know, given the story of Mouse, I'm surprised that's what made you uncomfortable. The fact that there was some nudity and I mean it's about the Holocaust, the killing of 6 million people, but that didn't bother you. But the naked.
I'm not sure that they don't use the naked part as a kind of a canard to throw you off from the fact that they don't like history that makes white people look bad.
But as Whoopi can.
Yeah, Salakia. I saw the video, and brother, she is in essence saying it wasn't no racism. It was man's inhumanity towards other men, and basically all people have to look at their humanity towards other races and other peoples, towards other people that they have power over, so to speak. But in essence, what she was saying was white people are not racist. She was trying to eliminate white people as being racist because, of course, what she should have been saying is that it was a Holocaust and that it was a Holocaust that happened to black people as well. But to eliminate that, she couldn't even address it as it being a Holocaust because, of course, the natural progression for a black person is to say, yes, it was a Holocaust and there was a black Holocaust as well, and these Holocausts have to stop. Yeah. You know, if you're a Christian, these got to stop. But she tried to fix it by eliminating the idea that it was a Holocaust and put a foot in her mouth, trying to bring really Christianity in.
That makes complete. I didn't see it, but that makes complete sense because many times I've had to battle someone who is. This is their attempt to get white allies and they know that white people do not like to be called racist at all. They can't stand that. So white people are more willing to join black people if this battle is not about race. And so many times they'll say, well, it's not about race. It got nothing to do with race. This ain't about race. It's about economics. It's about this. It's about that. That's their way of trying to get white allies.
That's right.
White people who won't join you if it's about race because we're different races. But if it's about economics, if it's about kindness, if it's about politeness, oh yeah, now I'll join you in your battle. I've seen that many times.
I've seen that Don Lemon argue with Chris Cuomo on CNN because Chris Cuomo trying to tell him, well, you can get, white support and you can get a lot of people to feel the way you feel, but you just can't use that language. And Don Lemon tell him, well, why do we have to clean it up? Why? And they go back and forth. Like Don Lemon want to say it's racist, it's this, it's that, and
white
this
people
and that.
don't.
And Chris
They
Cuomo
don't like
saying
that.
you
They
can't
don't
say
like
that.
it to be about race. And now here's Whoopi Goldberg's problem. You're always allowed to say that a problem with black people being oppressed and killed is not about race. That is accepted and allowed. But to make white people understand, she tried to say the Holocaust ain't about race either. You're suspended. You can't do that. And she tried to do what everyone does all the time with
black people.
To black people.
Yes.
This ain't got nothing to do with race.
Right.
Go in these chat rooms. There's somebody on here. It is not about
Coming
race.
out the wall.
Race ain't the problem. See, y'all making it. It's bigger than that. It ain't about race. It's about economics.
Right. Race card.
It's about pulling the race card. It ain't got nothing to do with race. It's about humanity. Yeah, you're right. Just like the Holocaust, you're fired. Because you can't do that.
No,
you're not allowed to do that. That is the biggest lobby on the planet Earth. Yes, the Democrats and the Republicans need their money.
That's right.
You're gonna watch your mouth about them, and you're gonna say whatever they tell you to say. Now, black people, of course, we're in slavery, and we're the children of Israel under a curse. So you can let a society that 90% of them only kill blacks and Hispanics. You can say that's not about race. That's about something else.
You can,
right?
You can dismiss Holocaust.
You can dismiss your eyes and statistics and history. You can say, really, listen, look up this. Look up the great, oh my God, I wish I could remember this. The Civil War. Look up this, Udiah. The Civil War was not about race. It was not about race at all. It was about really freedom and the South's right to pass their own laws. You can Google this. This is what they said about the Civil War. And they were teaching this until I think 5 years ago or 3 years ago, that it was not, that in the South, they called it the War of Southern Aggression because it was this North trying to force the South to do something that their laws didn't say they should do.
Exactly.
It was not about race. And there was a book that I read about it that was excellent. It was called The Great Something, but it was trying to show that the Civil War really ain't had nothing to do with race at all. Y'all tripping. That was not about race in any way. And that's acceptable. No one got suspended over that.
God.
Go on.
We had a quote, sir, in the article right here. We have the quote if you want to read it.
Please.
Khan, I'll put it up on the screen, sir. If I may, it says, hold on. I just go back to where we started at. It says, let's be truthful about it, because Holocaust isn't about race, Goldberg said on The View. It's not about race. It's not about race. It's about man's inhumanity to man. So I'm going to keep on going. But these are two white groups of people, Goldberg said. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what it is. It's how people treat each other. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. Jews, it's each other.
That's her argument. You know what they said about the Civil War? The Civil War was about states' rights.
Right.
That's what they said.
Right.
It was not about race in any way. That's a classic argument to make the oppression that white people have done to blacks and Hispanics not racial at all. Exactly. So that way, even the South, the Confederacy, was not racist.
Right.
The Confederate flag, that's another thing. What have they said for years about the Confederate flag? It is not racist at all. It does not represent racism.
Well, also, if you're going to
she tried to do that, but she did it with Jewish people, and you can't do that.
Yeah, and you can't do that. And if I could, and it's so important that in America, you can
do this.
In America, you can protest against racism. You can hold memories and history about racist events that happened to black people like Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all that. But what you cannot do is you cannot celebrate any reprisal that Edomites had because of their slavery on us. You can't say the Civil War was about race and they lost.
Oh, no.
You can't say that the South got crushed because of their racism, because that's a point that brings you back to the scriptures in this respect. I'm going to try to bring it all in one. Meaning, in the Bible, all our high holy days are based on us being oppressed and us triumphing over our oppressor. Hell, that's what the whole book of Exodus is about. We oppressed, we triumph over our oppressor. In America, you cannot celebrate that. You can only celebrate that is if the triumph was you submitted yourself to every ounce of their abuse, and then they miraculously realized, I'm just being wicked to a righteous person. So now I'll be kind and let you in. The Jackie Robinson story, the Martin Luther King story. Let's get the water hoses on you, get beat, get abused, and then eventually the slave master will accept you. But you better never celebrate the slave master was oppressing us and we rose up and shut him down. That they don't want never that to be celebrated, because that teaches us what they don't want slaves being taught. That standing up and fixing the problem, gets things done. They don't never want that. That's why they hate when we go off or riot, because it's like even though they say you're burning down your own neighborhood, you're burning down your own stores, you're going to make businesses not invest in you. And I'm not telling nobody to go riot and burn down stores. The point I'm saying is that they don't want that shown. And the reason for that is because that teaches a slave the way to resolve a problem is by standing up against it. And they don't want that. They want you to solve your problem by humbly taking all the abuse that's necessary till they change their heart and become nice and wonderful. And brother, and so the Whoopi Goldbergs of the world don't ever want you to compare the Holocaust with our captivity, because then you'll think the same solution that happened in Germany that ended the racism is what should happen to us. And now you going into something you're not supposed to think like that. And that's our problem. When Christ's gonna come back out, and the blood, they said the killing gonna be so bad that the blood is gonna come up to his paps, which is his waist. Like he go to the weight up to his waist, really to underneath your chest, is gonna be like you dip, not like it splattered on you, like you were dipped in blood.
Scripture say, died. Who cometh in
dyed garments of dyed garments of Boaz.
Like you said, that ain't the sprinkle. That's you soaking.
Yes, that's how much blood is gonna be. And they said there's gonna be so many bodies that they're gonna have to put markers out, and that's how things gonna get solved, not by being abused and then the slave master like Tiki Barber say, okay, you look like a good behaved Negro. Come on up here, reject your people, leave your race, and sit here beside me, and I'll give you a seat among us. And then he gets on the airwaves and be black coach and black players like he's white. Like he's like that cat there is a white man. Give a damn what his color is. He's
a Gentile.
He is a full out Gentile.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was just a lot.
Good to go. Next.
Which is, once again, if I could, why we should be trying to wake up in every way, because in every way that they feed us is one more way they keep our mind as a slave. Like, you can't get Whoopi Goldberg to go against white people for real, because Whoopi Goldberg is fed too well by white people. And let me tell you something. I used to see Whoopi Goldberg in New York when I was young. I used to work downtown. And Whoopi Goldberg used to be out there performing on the street. She would come out to Wall Street lunchtime, and she would perform, talk, say jokes, comedy, and get donations off of the street. And when she was back then, she would cut the hell out of white people. She would cut the hell out of them, and they would laugh about it. She was damn near like Paul Mooney, making jokes about white people and what they do, and she was damn good at it. And white people loved it. If they had money, they on Wall Street and got yachts and all that, and she up there, and you white people, y'all fools about so and so that they, yeah, she right. They had a good time. So, but when they started feeding her, then of course she changed gods. And that's the problem. That's why that's why the Lord said, let there be no other powers before me. You understand? I was like, that's why. Because otherwise, that God will feed you, and you will worship that God. You know what I mean? So that's it. You got it.
Khan Khan. Man kidnapped at gunpoint. It's like it. Man kidnapped woman at gunpoint at Michael Bloomberg's Colorado ranch, police say.
Damn. Might be okay. For time's sake, what about the one with the shooting in the supermarket? Do we have that?
And the brother with the no knock. We did the no knock warrant.
We did the no knock warrant.
Let's get the
the shooting. I think he on the loose right now. You got to look out for him. He out there right now. It was a shooting in a supermarket, I believe, in somewhere in Virginia. All right. I'm not positive of where, but he went there. I believe there's video, or definitely there's video of him. And there's another story, which is what you was about to read, about another oppressor that drove a car through the iron gate of ex-mayor Bloomberg's
I think
home.
that's the one he holding, right?
Yeah. So he was going to put them both together
Okay.
about the condition of the poor white man here in America. They're depressed. They don't have a job. They've been laid off. The oppressor, the government, is forcing vaccines on them. Their wife is emasculated they're emasculated in front of their wife because they don't have jobs. And many of us might not know that. But when you are an oppressor and you don't have a job, there's an extra level of emasculation from these white women that they're giving white men, and they flock to the Joe Rogan show and talk about it. They flock to the Proud Boys.
Yeah.
And what's some other nuts that you brought up on the screen? There's a podcast with two cats on it, one African and another one. Two were fresh and fit, where they complain about not getting women,
right?
How they can't get women,
right? Oh,
and they wish they could talk to women.
That podcast, they got that heathen in there. I mean, just trashing us. Like, them brothers is so damn shameful. You bring a heathen on a podcast because he got brown skin, he get a green light to dog the hell out of us and to charge us like something wrong with us.
He just brings white strippers on that show and tries to educate nerds about how they can get these strippers who they idolize, and they hate women. Can't stand them, angry at them, and feel emasculated by them. And when a white man loses his job because of the COVID-19 virus or not wanting to get a vaccine, when he goes home, he doesn't feel like a man.
Right.
He feels absolutely emasculated. He runs straight to the Proud Boys.
Exactly.
Straight to them. Well, one of them drove his truck through Mayor Bloomberg's iron gate, kidnapped his maid, took his maid to a hotel, and cuddled with her for the cuddling. Not rape. The cuddling. Literally made her go to the hotel, lay her head on his chest, her leg on his leg, and her hand on his stomach, and told her where to put the hand.
Damn.
It's in the story. And just cuddle with the woman. Thank the Lord she had a thing on her laptop that said, "Find my laptop." The FBI pushed that button, came in the hotel, and got her off in the middle of a cuddle with this man. That's what not having a job is going to do to white people.
Yes.
Because that white woman won't hug them anymore.
Yes.
Because they ain't worked in 6 months.
Yes. And to him, it's inhumane that he could be a white man in America and not be able to be cuddled at night. It's like you doing him such a wrong. Like he's being treated horribly because, you know, the sun has gone down and I finished supper and, you know, I've taken my bath and I can't cuddle? Oh, hell no. Boom, through the gates.
One day, go research something called a family annihilator.
Damn.
It's a narcissist who loses his job and kills everybody who would look at him like he's less than a man.
Damn.
And he kills them all. This is what white people got to have. Honey, I'm home.
Yeah.
They walk through that door. There's a martini right here. The kids all lined up. How was your day today? Slippers in the hand. Sit on that chair. Dinner, the apron. If he don't get that out, he's going to drive through your steel gate and kidnap your damn housekeeper.
Yeah.
He's going to do something about, he's going to storm the Capitol.
Yeah.
He's going to shoot up a mall because he has to be looked at like the provider, the hero, like the ideal, like back when America used to be great.
Yes.
Back then.
Heaven.
There you go.
He got to be in heaven.
He got to be in heaven.
You know what I mean? And he will not be denied to have his heaven. You know what I mean? Which is insane. It's insane. Like, and if something else, if I could add to what you're saying, that we talked about many times in the past, and that is what black people better realize is that you are watching white people in their most excellent state of wealth and power. Like, you ain't watching them in poverty. Like, even if they're poor in this country, they are still white and poor and privileged on another level. And brother, what you about to see is them lose some of that. And you do not want to see that. You think the ghetto is bad. You ain't seen a creature like you about to see now. And he going to, like you said, he going to do the craziest crazy things. And his woman is already doing them. She's already left the building. Left the building. You think you got problems with your woman? She kills him by 50. He turned 50, that it's a wrap.
Insurance money.
It's a wrap. Like, he got to sleep with one eye open after that. Yeah. Sometimes he kill her first.
Yeah, just to beat it to the punch.
You know what I'm saying? When them kids move out the house, he's sleeping in the basement. He's staying away from that needle, brother. That needle coming in. That antifreeze. You see him on that show.
Yeah, they put the antifreeze in your tea and coffee and all that.
Brother, I used to love to watch that. What's that old show?
Snapped.
Huh?
What's it called?
No,
Snapped.
Snapped is one of them. But they got one where the cat, he talks so right, and where they break it down. It's like a forensic show. It might be Forensic Files or something. But there's a show, and he go into it. He said, and they discovered she put the glycoclacatile in his iced tea before he went to work. You know, the whole antifreeze thing, and they break the chemical down, and how he got sick, and before you know he died, she collected insurance money. Like, you about to see them descend. And brother, again, they done conquered for a long time. Yeah. They know how to innovate with you know, they'll eat their own in a minute. Like that old Edomite that killed his wife and kids and buried her out in the desert. They recently, that was it. I mean, he had, you know, wife, and the other one that had the wife that was pregnant. Killed her around Christmas time. You know what I mean? Took her out on the boat and threw her in the river. Christmas time. You know what I mean? Like this is a wicked race that's getting ready to get unleashed in this kingdom for a minute. But boy, it's so right for us because we ready for it. We ready for it. Those of you that's not ready, you better come into the ISUPK. God. You know what I mean? You better recognize that. And you right, Hebrew J12 said they starting to ask about, you know, what is a Jew? Who are the real Jews? And are they really a race of people? Because, of course, there's no proof that they are. You know what I mean? They're the only race of people that's a question about it. And the reason it's a question about it is because you can easily search their history and see that they came from Caucasus and not from the land of Israel. And ain't nobody white came out the land of Israel anyway, in the Middle East anyway. Everybody in the Middle East is dark skinned. So the question has come up because it's really not true. And listen, and they spend billions of dollars to oppress it from coming out for now. For now. But the Most High is going to bring it all the way to the forefront. They're going to have to deal with it all the way in the forefront. You know what I mean? So So I said, Salaki, damn, we out of time. What you holding? Just to see if we should take a. Did you want to do that, or we can pass on that? Man, what else you hold? Anything else? Say again. This was the last one that was on that list.
We did cover it just now. I think that's what.
Okay, then that's fine. Then we good to go. Hey, listen, I want to tell you to pay your tithes, support this truth. Go to ISUPK.com, hit the tithes button. Hey, pay your Passover. They just hit me with a bill. We got to go. We got to talk to Ahmad, bro, and see if we come up with this money right here. So y'all, please pay your Passover, support this truth. ISUPK.com. Hey, we do this every Monday night, 9 p.m. Bring the heavy hitters in me. Big up the General Muhammad in the building with us. Big up the General Micah Allah in the building with us, man. Holding us down. General Hazayan will be back next week. Officer Marah, Yedai, and Ibad, and all the brothers that came in, man. Big shout out to them as well. I'll see y'all next time live on the UPK. Shalom.
Shalom, Israel. It's that time again. The week of Passover is packed with exciting events hosted by the ISUPK and Commanding General YAHANNA. On Tuesday, a deep-sea fishing trip with the generals. Arrival and boarding time at 7:30 a.m. The boat leaves at 8 a.m. sharp. Then on Wednesday, April 13th, join us for the annual lamb slaughter from 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., making sure the children of Israel have fresh lamb for the Passover. Then, after that, the ISUPK is having a fish fry from 4 p.m. until, which will lead to the scripture breakdown class with General Muhammad. Then, on Thursday morning, Hebrew Academy participants will see if they have what it takes to endure the Hebrew Academy trials. Commanding General YAHANNA has something special lined up for the children with a children's party from 10:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Come join Commanding General YAHANNA on Cocoa Beach as we renew our oath unto the Lord.
Because he's supposed to understand the power of the Most High that will destroy him and will destroy him real soon. Real. That assuredly, knowing unto what oaths they have given credence, they might afterward be of good cheer. You hear that? They was of good cheer, came along with the Lord as one, and became of good cheer while tens of thousands of Egyptians died. I know y'all don't like to talk about this, but you better put this war spirit back in you, Israel. You better get that spirit back in you, man. You better get that spirit of warfare back in you, because the Lord will put blood on the streets of America and around this world, brother.
Followed by a hotel ballroom, all black and Hebrew Academy dinner from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. And then on Friday, April 15th at 5 p.m., join us for the Lord's annual Passover as commanded in the scriptures at 5 p.m. sharp. On Saturday, April 16th, the Feast of Unleavened Bread. That's right, we're going to keep the Feast of Unleavened Bread from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. Commanding General YAHANNA has it all lined up for you, Israel. Come keep the Lord's Passover. Shalom.
ISUPK 53rd Annual Lord Passover.
53rd Annual Lord's Passover is going to be held down here in Florida.
It's going down.
You're here tonight to get a chance to be righteous enough to be worthy of God coming to save you. That's right.
It's going down. The Lord's 53rd Annual Passover.
When we say we no cowards, we talk that business. We no cowards up in here.
Book your hotels now at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites, the IHG Hotel, 301 Tucker Lane, Cocoa Beach, Florida, 32926.
Here's a lot of men down. You dealing with the men of war. We at war. I sided with the
Y'all see this?
Comes with all your dishes, pots, pans, forks, knives.
I got a like this. This is like an apartment and a hotel room. You know what I mean?
This here right here is about to be holy ground. This is going to be holy ground. All our beautiful, wonderful brothers and sisters from all over the world. You understand? We can boast that now. Brothers and sisters coming not only from every state, but from all over the world. I heard the numbers this year is ridiculous. We had to buy out the whole hotel.
Friday, April 15th at the Space Coast Convention Center.
My camp undefeated. You cannot debate. You just want the clout. We just want the grapes. I'm just trying to get it.
This is going to be glorious.